Some real talk about debt defense lawyers. Hi, if you're being sued or threatened with suit by debt collectors, you may have tried to find a lawyer who would help you. Probably most of our members have. In this video, we'll discuss what you've probably found and what to do about that. This video is brought to you by yourlegalagup.com, your advantage if you are being sued by debt collectors. First, if you're being sued by debt collectors, you've probably found that even finding a lawyer who knows anything about debt law or wants to do anything about it is actually hard. That's because most lawyers prefer to help people with money. And people being bugged by debt collectors often don't have a lot of that, so there aren't very many lawyers dedicated to this kind of law. Second, you've probably found that even if you can find a lawyer, he or she is not cheap. In fact, you may have found them ridiculously expensive. People often tell us lawyers want at least $200 per hour to do anything on the case at all. And they often won't take a case for under $2,000 up front. Do you get a guarantee? Not at all. At least you better not. It's unethical for lawyers to guarantee their results. So you are expected to fork out well over $1,000 to take your chances on winning or losing. This sounds crazy, but it's just a start. The second part of the problem is that most lawyers simply do not understand the debt law, though they won't tell you that. It isn't all that easy just to pick up on the fly. It's a kind of law with its own realities as well as laws, and most lawyers just aren't familiar with them. In most kinds of law, for example, lawyers are trained to look for a compromise or middle ground to weigh and settle cases. For most cases, that makes sense because in most cases there is a case before the plaintiff brings it. But debt cases are not most cases. Thus, the lawyer you pay $1,500 to may suggest that you settle the case brought against you by the debt collector for 50 to 75% of the amount sought. That's very common, and it wouldn't be that terrible a result in most kinds of cases. But it is a sign that the lawyer either doesn't know the debt law or is just out for a quick buck at your expense. Neither of those options is very good, right? Or the lawyer might want a percentage, and not that small a percentage either, of the money they save you. So if you're being sued for $5,000, when it's all said and done, you pay your lawyer $1,500 and settle for $2,000 or worse. The debt collector would have settled for that in the first place, though. And even that isn't all of what you face as you try to protect yourself from debt collectors. No, you'll have questions for your lawyer, and your lawyer won't want to answer them. They're busy, and they have to charge you $200 per hour to answer them. We're not actually criticizing them. Lots of people need debt lawyers, and everybody's got to make a living. But what are you going to do? For most people, most of the time, it's just too expensive to hire one. Should you just give up? No way. That's where Your Legal Leg Up comes in. We're more familiar with and experienced in debt law than 90% of debt lawyers. And that's not an exaggeration, probably more of an understatement. We've set up our system to explain the law, encourage you to take action, and help you along the way. With our help, you can do as much as or more than most lawyers can or would do for you. If you've been paying attention to our other videos, you know why. Debt collectors have very little incentive to collect evidence and fight the cases. Even if they can win, it's more profitable to chase people who don't fight at all, and everything you do to defend yourself makes that even more so. So your chances of winning are excellent. Maybe not absolutely as good as if you hired a really good lawyer. That's what we call the gold standard. But very, very good for a small fraction of what the lawyer would charge. Plus, what you learn about yourself and the legal system changes the way you look at yourself forever. That part is priceless. And when the case is over, we help you pick up the pieces and repair the damage caused by the debt or debt collectors. Join us. yourlegalagup.com